I was born in China, but I was adopted by Chinese parents. I was too light-skinned for Angelina Jolie. But whenever people find out that I'm adopted, it's like I told them that I have HPV. Because they're like, oh my god, thank you for telling me such personal information. You are so strong. But listen, I was born in a country with a one-child policy and the second largest population in the world. Okay, I am not special. I'm one of millions of girls who had to spend the first year of her life in an orphanage, but I'm lucky because unlike those girls, I didn't have to grow up with white parents. I don't have to sit at a dinner table across from people who look nothing like me and talk about shit like Patrick Mahomes. Or NASCAR. I told my mom that joke and she's like, I don't get it. She's like, what is Ma Hong? Is that a Chinese name? I'm like, don't worry about it, Mom. That joke's not for you. But despite not being biologically related to her, my mom and I look the exact same, and that is because she makes me get the same haircut and clothing as her. So she's either super narcissistic or she's being hunted and using me as her bodyguard. Yeah, I mean, like, we look so similar from behind that before my dad does anything with her, he has to do Google two-step verification. We have these very aggressive bobs, as you can see. Our shadows look like they've been circumcised. My dad, on the other hand, he's a very sweet, older Asian man. He seems to be learning English by watching the TV, which is, something a lot of people do. And he especially likes the game shows, so I'll call him and then unprompted he'll say things like, Daily Double! Hi Dad, how are you? Spin the wheel! I think it's important for you to know that my dad was born and raised in America. I don't know what's going on. On top of that, he has a PhD in literature. But some exciting news actually in my life, guys. I recently came out to my parents.
Woo!
Yes, thank you.
Yes.
Not as gay, I just told them that their grandkids are probably gonna be half white. I want to breed some more Shinagonas, Yeah. But no, actually my parents are very open-minded about who I marry, which is good because I know a girl who said that her grandmother would give her $50,000 if she married another Chinese person. Yeah. I'm like, talk about funding racism, Like, forget about the corporations. We need to stage a sit-in at this Asian Auntie's house right now. But actually, I remember like my first exposure to interracial relationships with an Asian person was the 2008 version of Karate Kid with Jaden Smith. I don't know if you've seen this. He moves to China and then like develops a crush on a local girl. And I remember watching that as like a 7-year-old and being blown away because I was like, how do we have 2 Karate Kids and none of them were Asian? Yeah, he was like, oh shit, you're right, yeah. Hollywood thought they could fool us. They were like, no, it's Ralph Macchio, it's a Chinese name. Now, a lot of people do think that I'm a lesbian, and I'm like, I'm not, I just like to dress like a real estate agent. I took my car into the shop the other day, I had a cracked bumper, and I know what y'all are thinking, okay, that accident was not my fault. I bring it in, and the staff is like, yeah, like, we'll take a moment, look at your vehicle, and we'll assign someone to look at your vehicle. This butch lesbian comes out, she's like, let's take a look at your Subaru. And she was like winking at me, and I was like, you know what, I'm not going to correct her, because I could come out of this with like a free oil change. I know lesbians move fast, like I could be added to her insurance right now. I went to Monterey Park recently, visited some relatives. Monterey Park, very Chinese area. We went to this restaurant that didn't even have an English name, so I was like, yes, I'm gonna get some authentic ass Chinese food, Yeah, in your head. Also another Bob right here, looking good. Certified Bob, she's like, yeah, that is gonna be some authentic food. And so we get there, and we order spaghetti and meatballs. Yeah. Which, according to the Chinese, is just white rice topped with marinara sauce and a melted Kraft single. Now I know why people get mad about cultural appropriation. Italian food should not look like Elmo exploded in the microwave. I am noticing though, like I'm from the East Coast, and I grew up in this area that didn't have a lot of Asian people. And now coming out to the West Coast, I see a lot more like diversity in the Asian community. Like we have underachieving Asians out here. Like on the East Coast, if you don't go to college, you're in every single Asian mom's WeChat thread. And then out here, you could be like a 45-year-old man, not have a college degree, not have a job, still live with your mom, and she'll just be like, how is he still single? He's 5'9", he's stallion. I went on a date with a guy who thought London was the suburbs.
Oh,
yeah, and I was like, that's one Asian that didn't get into Harvard. No, I think it's good though. Like, I feel like some people out here, they don't really know anything beyond the Asian community. And on the East Coast, I think Asians are starting to become more trendy though. Like, I see the store Miniso everywhere, you know, the one that sells like the off-brand Minion mugs that give you lead poisoning. I mean, on the East Coast, like they have one in my town now, and it's like still filled with white people with tails, but at least they're interested in that. I also graduated from college recently. Yes, thank you. I know I look like I could be the dean of the poli-sci department. But I am in fact 23 years old. I graduated from a private liberal arts school in upstate New York, which is code for my dad has money. Liberal arts education, I'm always like analyzing things, overanalyzing things. I'll be like, you know, the American experience is like an egg. It's comparable to an egg. There's several layers to it, comes in many different forms, and people are always going to argue that the whites are the best. My time in college, I like to call it the sunny side up experience. Sounds very positive. It was the process of being a yellow person surrounded by white people. I remember my friend, she told me that when she first met me, she thought that I was an international student because I was just sitting in the corner at the party not talking to anyone. And I was like, I love how your first thought wasn't that I was drunk and tired. It's just that I didn't know English. Somehow when I was there though, I managed to date 2 guys at once. Yeah. Wow. Thank you. Yeah. Again, he's like, oh, that one deserves some credit. One of them was you'll like this one. One of them was an international student from India. The other was an international student from Pakistan. You didn't need to be a history major to know the geopolitical power of my pussy. I think the reason why the South Asian guys were attracted to me was because they wanted to help breed the superhuman race. Because if you think about it, our kids, they were going to dominate the robotics competitions and the spelling bees. But I was starting to get them confused, which is not a good look for a Chinese person. So I did what anyone would do in that situation to choose between them. I had them play a cricket match over me. I was kind of worried for myself. I was like, oh my God, Corinna, are you developing a fetish? And I was like, no, you just like the smell of cigarettes and hair gel. I love the body hair too. Like, we would be hooking up, and I felt like I was Bella from Twilight, just like petting a wolf. I was like, oh my God, Jacob. Except his name was Kartik. Yeah, I am trying to date though. Actually some exciting news. I recently got hit on for the first time, which I didn't know was something that people did nowadays. Like, I thought everything was just swiping. And this guy comes up to me and he's like, you have the most circular glasses. And I was like, thank you, my eyesight went bad from studying all the time. He's like, could it be me? And I was like, oh, why are there no intellectual guys in this barcade? If you don't know, a barcade, the primary clientele of these establishments is people who stay at home to play video games all day, and then they only leave so that they can go play more video games. And given that most of my likes on Hinge are Mexican guys that like anime, it made sense that I was popular with them. And that's my time, guys. Thank you.